Hello. How's everybody doing? And welcome to the NIKO Show. We are on episode 29, which is one away from episode 30. Whoa! Just about at 30 episodes of the NIKO Show. I better do something special, like have water in my background, wear a Blink 182 shirt that's been around for 10 years almost. Whoa! And I gotta wear the Mario hat for sure. I didn't wear it on the last NIKO Show. It's sometimes when you stream with a hat on like this with horrible insulation, it gets pretty hot. No matter how low you make the temperature. But I'm glad you're all here, just lining up to get through the Twitch doors, trying to get through that bandwidth, trying to just look on your phone, getting past those ads to check out my show. That's just the best thing ever. But I am excited for this very nice NIKO Show episode. An hour of your favorite gaming news and topics. Some controversial, some pointless, but nonetheless, all great in their own right. So, as all these videos go, I always have some very important stuff to talk about with gaming. But usually, I do a little introduction about myself on what's going on with me in RL, and then talk about what games I'm playing or what I'm going to play, and then we get on to the game topics. So, let's just get that out of the way. So, what's going on in my life right now? Well, I started writing again, which is great. I took a little break after finishing my first short story book or compilation book, which is great. Started writing again, and then I'm going to take my second retake for the personal trainer fitness exam, 9/11. That is not a joke for any 9/11 fans out there. Scheduled it on that. First test I have to pay out of pocket. Tough break. Taking a different perspective to it. I mean, I fucking better, because obviously doing what I've been doing twice in a row hasn't been working very well. So I need to get my shit together. And there's a lot more at cost this time. For one, just me moving on from personal training altogether, at least as of right now in my life. So I'm not just stuck in Groundhog's Day loop, or being a looper guy. And two, don't have the money for it. It's expensive. $200 a retake, and three, I think you have to do like a type of not a recertification. That's about $150. That's like every 2 years But this is the last test that I meet the 6-month deadline of just trying to pass the test. So this is it. I don't know how long I have to wait afterwards, but it's going to be a while probably, undoubtedly. And I probably have to pay for the standard price all over again, so it kind of sucks. Maybe. I mean, I do have the books and stuff already, so maybe I don't. I just have to keep paying for retakes. Gray areas, I know. I should be doing the research on it. But anyway, so those are the two priority things I've been doing. Also, in the meantime, I have been doing a lot of hangouts with NIKO. Thanks, everybody who stopped by and just want to talk and just join in on the conversation about whatever and whenever. I know there's no specific time I do this, but they're all like spur of the moment. It's kind of like this NIKO Show right now, but you're never too late when you come in and join in on the conversation. Unless I'm about to sign off, then you are a little too late. But you can always watch the videos on the Twitch or YouTube channel. And then obviously you can also join the community by being part of the NikoTheLegend and NIKO and Legends Discord server. So there's never really a place to where you feel like you have nothing to say. I give you plenty of options, and so does the internet. So without further ado, been doing those IRL streams a lot more often. I'm happy to do that. And now, without further ado, let's get into my gaming topic, or talk about what games I'm playing. So, I just beat Yakuza 0 a couple days ago. Pretty great game, fantastic story, great graphics. You really feel like you're in 1988's Tokyo Satonburi in Kamaricho, sorry. And you play as two guys, Goro Majima and then Kiryu. Great main characters, great introduction, prologue or prequel story to the actual to the legit franchise that has been doing remakes now, thanks to Sega. But yeah, this is a fantastic game. I had a great time. The only gripe I had about it is that the combat was a little lackluster. A lot of repetitive button mashing, and kind of you can really troll enemies if you wanted to. There are exploits you can do. I won't share them, so you don't do it, but I found some exploits to get past annoying fight segments. But the fighting is still fun. It's just sometimes it's really frustrating, like stupidly frustrating. But totally didn't ruin the whole experience or anything. Like I said, the game was just enjoyable overall. There's a lot to do in it. So that's Yakuza 0. I also recently beat Death's Gambit, which if you like great pixel art, great side-scrolling, great, if you like Dark Souls inspired, if you like Dark Souls and you like the gameplay it offered and those mechanics, by all means, buy Death's Gambit by White Rabbit Game Studios. Fantastic game. You get it for $20. I know it's a little steep for a game that took me 10 hours to beat. So maybe you want to wait on sale for it, but I highly recommend playing it no matter what. It's a fantastic game. I loved it. Great soundtrack, like I said, great graphics, gameplay, soundtrack, and even story for a 10-hour side-scrolling game, like Dark Souls-inspired game. I mean, if you like Metroidvania, I highly recommend this game. This game has a lot of great surprises, a lot of dark philosophical themes that it touches on, like life and death, all that type of stuff. Finding your mother, and should you find your mother, or just, you're a guy who's already dead, you failed your mission, so now you're just trying to find a way to actually die, but die in peace, rest in peace, as they say, by finding your mother, to knowing whether or not she is alive or dead. But anyway, it goes so deep into it, it's just crazy. Fantastic game, though. I'm glad to have beat it. And so, beating these two games has made me just super hungry for a fantastic JRPG that's coming out next Tuesday. That's going to be Dragon Quest XI for PlayStation 4 and the PC. I'm getting on the PlayStation 4 because I love console JRPGs the most, especially like turn-based games like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. Although if you look at my Steam list, I'm a little hypocritical because I do have Final Fantasy games on there. So it's really just depends on the game, more or less, but pretty much both on equal grounds. But if I know the frame rate is going to be better on PC, I mean, the frame rate is going to always be better on PC. And if the console version is going to be like 30 FPS, where PC is uncapped, then I buy the PC version. But knowing that these games like Yakuza 0 and Dragon Quest XI, the FPS is 60 FPS. So that's good enough for me to want to buy it for consoles. I hate buying games that are 30 FPS. I really do, for the most part. Now, if it's like a console exclusive, then yeah, I want to buy it. Like Killzone Shadowfall is a console exclusive. There's on PlayStation only, or Bloodborne or something like that. Then yeah, I'd buy it for that, and I want to play God of War. But yeah, I really want to play this game on consoles. I played the crap out of Dragon Quest VIII. I beat it. One of the best JRPGs I've ever played. And Metacritic, I don't know if it was just like Metacritic itself, the guy who made Metacritic, I don't know. But a review quote from Metacritic, I guess, didn't state who did it, but it just said Metacritic, said that it was the best Dragon Quest game he's ever played and one of the best JRPGs in a long time. And it's been getting great reviews all around. Now, I haven't really been like going into the review section seeing what people say about it or anything, because I don't really care about that, because I know the game's going to be good and I like to be surprised. I haven't watched too many gameplay videos on it or anything, so I'm going to be quite surprised. I love being surprised with RPGs like this. So Dragon Quest XI. And then, oh yeah, I also forgot that I subscribed to World of Warcraft, so I've been playing that here and there too. Playing it, waiting for Dragon Quest XI. I really want to get Battle for Azeroth expansion, but I got to make a choice. My money is going to be on Dragon Quest XI. Or the expansion, I had to choose Battle for Azeroth or Dragon Quest XI. I'd rather play something completely brand new. And I already have a character that's in the Lich King expansion, so I'm just leveling him up. So it's all good. It's still new content for me because I've only gotten as far as the beginning of the Lich King expansion. So I have a lot to catch up on in World of Warcraft. So there's really no rush, except all my friends have Battle for Azeroth. from work. My brother's gonna get it. Ooh. Actually, I have to get him Battle for Azeroth for his birthday, so it's coming still. So yeah, Dragon Quest XI is gonna be great. Gonna be streaming it for about 6 hours on this Tuesday on September 4th. Doing a premiere stream. Come on down. Come on down. If you're a JRPG fan, if you love great turn-based role-playing games, if you like Dragon Quest, if you like Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball creator, if you like his artistic design and character design, he worked on Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, and Dragon Ball franchise. And yes, he helped make one of the greatest games of all time, which is Chrono Trigger. Of time. So, that's what's going to be happening on what I'm playing right now. So I'm happy to get done with those 2 other games. Very excited. And then, just real quick, I got into playing Killzone Shadowfall. I bought it for like $4 on sale on PlayStation. Pretty good FPS so far. Came out back in 2013. It still looks pretty amazing. Still looks pretty great. So good job, Guerrilla. But I could see where your inspiration, where Horizon Zero Dawn's inspiration comes from. They were slowly shifting. You'll see if you played it. Anyway, so enough about me. Let's get on to what's really important in this world of gaming that we live in. So, this is the first time I ever had an actual background like this. I think I might go with it. I don't mind showing what's in the background of what's behind me. As you can tell, you can still see. Look, you can see my World of Warcraft expansion boxes on the top shelf behind my head. You can see my drum set. You can see the AC unit. But I'm going to keep it like this. I like having a little box and some good scenery, Gives you the illusion that I'm actually surrounded by water and I'm being closed in day by day. I'm being boxed in, everybody. All right, so like I said, there's going to be some controversial stuff we're talking about today. I'm excited about that. But hey, if you ever just leave your comments or opinions in the text. And if you ever want to debate on some of the stuff I said, by all means, we can always schedule to do a one-on-one debate. We can record it live. You can join the Discord server or whatever you want to do. We can make it happen. But debates, the viewer versus the streamer, doesn't really pan out well. Someone just gets angry in the end, and there's no compromise. So yeah, that's why I just established to do one-on-one debates. Voice to voice is always better than text to voice. Don't want to put in that contextual bullcrap when someone's trying to be genuine, but someone gets mad because it's just like, no, that's not what you mean. I'm like, damn it! If only you heard what I said. If you heard my thoughts. Okay, so the first one is talking about Valve. This is great. Valve is very aware of all the jokes people make. Well, thank God, because they've been doing it since Half-Life 2 was released. Or Team Fortress 2. Or Left 4 Dead 2. Or Portal 2. Nah. So, over the next few years, you'll see us doing more things. It's hard to go long on the internet without running into a Half-Life 3 confirmed joke, the internal meme as we collectively wait for the 3rd installment of Valve's legendary FPS series to materialize. Guys, it's never going to happen. And speaking to the development team of Valve's next game, Artifact, at their office in Seattle last week, Valve clearly hasn't missed those jokes either. I think we're very aware of all the jokes because all of us lurk all the forums and share them around with each other, says Jeep Barnett, a programmer on Artifact and a member of the original team that made Narbacular Drop, who were all hired to create Portal as a result. Interesting. Understanding Valve is very complicated because it's just made all the people who work here, Barnett explained. From outside the company or outside any company, you try to personify it is something very specific to understand what that thing is. It's just not that simple, so I think it's very hard to explain. Just real quick, I remember reading an article, reading some stuff that actually that Valve was just not a fun place to work at. It was actually pretty fucking miserable. But that was just one confirmed report, and I never saw anything about it ever again. They said that about CD Projekt Red too. So, however Valve might work, they're clearly aware of the misconceptions and reputations around their company. Even recently making a cheeky reference to the fact that they've never made a game with a 3 in the title in the recent Dota 2 Gabe Newell announcer voice pack video. For the years leading up to Artifact's announcement in 2017, the perception has been that Valve doesn't need to make games anymore and may not even be interested. They can just sit on the money Steam is making through game sales and the marketplace and coast as long as they want. Noel even jokingly addressed it back in March, saying, "Hooray, Valve is going to start shipping games soon." Shipping games again. A bunch of investment we've done over the past few years hasn't really been exceptionally visible to customers playing our games. Artifact programmer Brandon Reinhardt, oh, that's an awesome last name, explained. Overwatch fans, anyone? We spent a lot of time improving customer service on Steam. That was a hard problem, and it took a bunch of people a bunch of time to work on. Put simply, there are a finite amount of people working at Valve, a company famous for not really having bosses, and letting all its employees decide what they want to work on. Maybe that's the problem why they didn't make any trilogies. And people decided they wanted to work on things that aren't a flashy new game for a while. Of course, they are also working on Vive and Steam VR in that time, so it wasn't all hidden. Now, we're in a place where we're able to, as a company, invest and focus a lot more on games again, Reinhardt said. The answer to "you're just sitting on your butts, sitting on a pile of money, swimming around in gold vault" is to not actually do that, to deliver a bunch of high-quality games that show we're actually working really hard. But making games takes time, and even though Valve hasn't technically shipped a full game since Dota 2 in 2013, VR titles, Artifact has been in development since at least 2015. Reinhardt says that now that some of the less visible stuff has passed, over the next few years you'll see us doing more things. Barnett said, while they see and listen to all the feedback both their games and the company gets, they don't usually respond directly. The way that we communicate back is by making changes to the game and trying to ship features that address the things people are saying, he explained. Rather than just speaking and saying we're going to do this thing, we actually just go and do that thing. So, all talk and no action type deal. They don't want that. This attitude came through clear and genuine when I spoke to the people working at Valve. They know the reputation their studio has, but they prefer to just keep their heads down and work, which is good. You don't want to showboat like Activision and EA do all the fucking time. They don't seem to sweat the gossiping rumors and jokes about why they haven't made games. Reinhardt says, "I think internally at Valve we feel that perception will work itself out as we continue to make really high quality products." So, that's it for that. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, you don't, like, in your little heads, anybody who's watching this, because, good for them. You're gonna release another game. With me, I wasn't a huge Half-Life fan. My oldest brother was. He loved Half-Life 2, but I don't really ever remember him, being like, "Oh, Half-Life 3 this, Half-Life 3 that." Like he was like one of those big people that wanted that game to come to fruition. He never really played Left 4 Dead or Dota or Counter-Strike. I mean, we did play Counter-Strike, but it wasn't like religiously. With me, I think Valve's a great company. Like, their games are amazing. I know that for a fact. I mean, we've seen it. Everybody who's played a Valve game knows the quality that they're able to do. Team Fortress, Half-Life, Gary's Mod. No, just kidding. Counter-Strike, if you can count that as its own thing. Left 4 Dead, and Dota, and Portal. So you guys know how fun those games are. And you know what? I mean, they just made a staple for themselves. I mean, making 2 games and that's it. They're able to move on and be like, we were successful about this. It's obviously it's a thing. That's the meme. They don't ever make 3s in their game. And there's a good reason why they don't. Maybe because they don't need to. Maybe they realize that there's only so much that they can improve on from the first game and then put in the second game. I mean, some games really fail to captivate the audience as the sequels do. Sequels to me are actually way more important than the actual first movie or the first game or the first book, because it's like, where do you go from here? Well, like, did I plateaued? How do I go beyond the limit of what I had the first time around? How do I do better? That's really tough to do. It really is. It's a lot of stress. How do I make this story better than the one before that? What if you're like, take the first Mario Brothers game, for instance, like a game that really had no story, nothing really like in depth compared to like Super Mario Galaxy or Super Mario World, just we all remember the first level, and we know the theme song, and the game explained itself, and it was one of the best games that we've ever played, and everybody knows the game. But then the game was so amazing like that, so simple but yet beautiful, and just so crafted, just like it's simple and clean, and that's what's good. There's no bullshit. So how did they do better than that? Like how do they go from here to there, like way up there? Well, I mean, Super Mario Brothers 2 wasn't really the official Super Mario Brothers 2, so we're just gonna go with I don't really count the lost levels as the original Super Mario Brothers 2 because it's just, unless you have Mario All Stars, then but it's really not that different of a game. It's just poison mushroom. But Super Mario Brothers 3 was that game that took the first game, went from here to there. Super Mario Brothers 3, a lot of people could argue would be the true sequel to the first game. And that game, people like Mario Brothers 3 better than the very first Mario game. Obviously, with me, I like Super Mario World because I love Super Nintendo, and I grew up with that more. It was around my age group at the time. But still, I understand why people love Super Mario Bros. 3. It's literally the best thing you could have done with making a sequel. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic example. Same thing with Half-Life 1 and 2. They went up and beyond. They blowed everybody's expectations out of the water or whatever. It's fantastic. They did great. Now, some games, like I said, some games people can't get better than the original game, like the original Deus Ex. People think that is the best Deus Ex game still out to this day, because Deus Ex Invisible War was, admittedly, it's not a bad game. It just doesn't deserve the Deus Ex title, I guess, from what people are saying. Like, if it didn't have Deus Ex on it, it would actually be considered a really good game because it had great physics, great gameplay, and it was fun. I remember playing on the original Xbox, and I was having fun playing basketball with the physics and stuff. I thought that was pretty crazy. But people just thought it was pales in comparison to the very first game, and people still think the first Deus Ex is still amazing. But, Witcher 1 to Witcher 2, I think Mega Man X is better than Mega Man X2, so it just depends on the game, it's really hard. It's really hard to go up and beyond like that, and Valve knows how to do it, and maybe they realize that how impossible it is to go even better than their masterpiece sequels. Left 4 Dead 2, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, Dota 2. I mean, shit. They're amazing games. They're amazing. Team Fortress 2. So, they get it. They get it. They don't want to keep, milking the franchise. They don't want to pull a Mass Effect 3 or something. They don't want to pull they don't want to pull that type of stunt. So, I'm just glad that they're actually making other games, though. They're making new IPs. It's great, deep down they're gamers at heart, and Steam is the biggest gaming platform ever created on this planet, and the most successful probably video game industry. Valve is probably the biggest gaming company of all time, just by how much they make off Steam. Valve is a legendary company. It's very hard to top Valve. I don't even think Nintendo could really tap into it, or Microsoft, or Sony. I'm just saying. EA, no. Blizzard's pretty good, but no. Blizzard doesn't have its own successful platform. Like, nobody wants to play on Origin or on Ubisoft Uplay. Nobody wants to play on EA Access. No one wants to play on Bethesda. No one wants to play on Epic Games. They all want to play on Steam. Oh, God forbid, nobody wants to play on fucking Microsoft. Oh, God, the Windows app. God damn it, Gears of War. Oh, man. Why did you have to suffer so? So anyway, that is with Valve. I'm glad that's happening. It's great. All right, on to the next one. This is something that we shouldn't care about, but it's quite obvious because EA finally got the fucking picture. Battlefield 5 has been delayed by a month. Wow. Who would have thought that was... Come on. Who would have thought? I mean, really? Really? It was going to come out the same month as Red Dead Redemption 2? Really? You really thought you guys were going to actually compare yourself to those guys? To those... Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to blow every game out of the fucking water, and probably out of this year and completely out of that month. Game's going to sell so many fucking copies. Whoo, lordy. EA has announced that Battlefield 5, originally due for release October 19th, has had its release date pushed back a month and will now release November 20th. Guess what's coming out November 20th? Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, and that's going to sell way more than Battlefield 5. I'm telling you that now. The news comes from Oscar Gabrielson, general manager of developer DICE, in a blog post on EA's website. He seems to point to player feedback as being the primary reason behind the delay, thanking the tens of thousands of players who played both during closed alphas or in demo booths at events such as E3 and Gamescom. I got a burp, sorry. And highlights some positive feedback around weapons handling and player movement. It seems that the core gameplay is the sticking point, with Gabrielson pointing in particular to gameplay tempo, as well as soldier visibility and player friction. While he doesn't go into any details about the specifics of the feedback, of course not. He does state that players will see improvements in these areas in the game's upcoming open beta, which kicks off September 6th, blah, blah, blah. The post reaffirms, however, that EA and DICE have settled on a later launch date to get it right. As well as its core gameplay, it seems that there are some concerns that the current build doesn't fully deliver on the potential of Tides of War. A live service intended to replace the previous system premium passes and expansion passes with an evolving journey that will grow over time. Yeah, sure, well. Following the game's open beta on September 6th, Battlefield 5 will now release September, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so. Yeah. What's the new... Hold on, I want to know what the new... What's it called? Battlefield... I just want to know what the Battle Royale mode is called. Oh, I guess we don't know yet. I think Tides of War is not it. I think that's just standard, like... I don't know. Just... Whatever's in the beta didn't have the Battle Royale aspect in it. And I think that really bites them in the ass. Because, like, same thing with Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4. Oh, God. I hope you guys don't buy that game. Please don't buy it. Don't buy it! They're not... These companies aren't original anymore. They're not unique anymore. They're copying what's easy and what makes them easy money. So, anyway, if you want to debate on that, you can. You can always... Let's schedule a date. So, anyways, this is just proves to show that EA doesn't really know what they're doing. Because they just go by player feedback and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, we should have known to do this ahead of time. Oh, a month. I just think they're actually delaying it because they finally realized that, now player feedback is obviously important, and I know it does play a role, but also I'm sure one of the guys in the meeting room was like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do this, because if we're not ready, our game's not going to sell shit compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. Good idea, Jim. Let's push it back a month. And that's basically what happens. You realize how much your game isn't ready, how much you've been showboating, how much lack of crappy your marketing campaign for this game, the marketing campaign for this game is so ridiculously bad. We don't even know what the fuck we're looking at in the first two trailers. We have no idea. Ooh, a girl in water is drowning or something. Like, okay. First trailer, a girl with a claw hand, people are shooting each other, and it's funny. I'm like, okay, we still don't know what the fuck's going on. And then the second trailer is like, oh look, more gameplay. Still don't know what the hell's going on. Like, there hasn't been like any really official, concrete like video showing what the game's truly about, like, at all. So EA and DICE don't know what the fuck they're doing. Obviously, they don't know what they're doing because Battlefront 2 sucks or is dying. Loot crates. And then when they have to make an announcement, there's this year no loot crates. Guys, you don't have to make an announcement about that. Jesus Christ. We'll figure that out on our own in the beta. So anyway, about the beta, the reason why it was such a big deal is because, for me, that I didn't want to play it, it's because it wasn't showing off anything new. It was just this standard same old Battlefield gameplay and combat. I'm really curious to see how the Battle Royale works out. Why didn't they do a beta for that? I don't understand. Look, if it's not ready, I get that, but it should have been the top priority to get that going, because if you're advertising the frick out of it, then why don't we get to play it, to get a taste of it? Because that's what people are going to buy your game for, mainly, is the Battle Royale stuff, because you guys keep showboating about it or talking about it. So, let us play that? You know, let us get a little taste. Same thing with Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Same thing with their beta. It was just a standard multiplayer beta. Just the same old crap over and over. Why not let us play the Battle Royale shit? Like, come on. Just give us a taste. Why do you brag so much about it and then you can't back it up? A beta is the best way to do it. I mean, especially like I said, if you're going to be talking about this new mode as your magnum opus or as your marketing, you know, little chariot you ride into the heavens of money and regret, you would think they would want people to play it and to have that as their test dummy to see where they stand with this game. But what do I know? All right, so next one. Okay. All right, we got to talk about FORTNITE. Take that, Ninja. So, FORTNITE, Call of Duty, and other fall releases look to propel video games to record sales. Yeah, sure, Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you're just not the shooter company you once were. You're just not anymore. Because you're not original anymore. You suck. Nobody liked Infinite Warfare. Nobody liked Black Ops 3 as much as like Black Ops 2 and 1. Nobody's... yeah. Black Ops 4 has not sold me at all, being like, oh, wow. With FORTNITE... what does it say? Why did they make the article so tiny? While FORTNITE batting leadoff and many heavy hitters on deck this fall, video game companies are poised to score record sales mark this year. The only company I think that's going to be selling record sales is Take-Two and Rockstar. Those are going to be the record sales right there. During the first 6 months of 2018, consumers spent $19.5 billion on video game software, consoles, and accessories, according to the market tracking from the NPD Group. That's 40% higher than during the same period last year, which over the full 12 months resulted in spending a record of $36 billion. By the end of 2018, the U.S. video game industry could tally at least $40 billion, says Matt Piscatella, a games industry analyst at the NPD Group. Spending in all segments of the video game industry are up this year, and an NPD report released this week finds sales of physical and downloadable games, including subscriptions, are up 43% to $16.9 billion. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is that they're just catering to every type of demographic possible. Even the poorest person, even like a hobo on the side of the street can buy a video game these days for like fucking $3 or something. Chump change. Like a pack of cigarettes can get them a video game. The price of a pack of cigarettes can get them a video game. That's what I meant to say. Console? Yeah, I don't know about that. Sale of video game consoles are up 21% to $1.7 billion, and game accessories such as headsets are up more than 28% to $900 million. Well, capitalism's a wonderful thing. You want big businesses to be successful so they can support smaller businesses and have contracts and talk about that stuff. A main driver of sales for the first half of 2018 online games, FORTNITE, which has drawn 125 million players and can be played for free on consoles, personal computers, mobile devices. But players frequently plunk down $520 for in-game currency, new outfits, and skins. Between January and May, FORTNITE generated more than $1 billion in revenue. Ooh, you hear that, PUBG? Take that. I just want to sue FORTNITE for being more successful than we are, and actually a game that works. The game is not only breaking down some previous barriers in terms of how people play and where they play, but it's also really driving a lot of content sales. Piscatella said, we're also seeing if it have a pretty big impact on hardware and accessory and game card spending as well. It is a true outlier performance in every sense of the word. Video game headset maker Turtle Beach. I have a Turtle Beach headset. Where was I? Oh, can attest to the FORTNITE effect. Earlier this year, the company upped its full-year revenue outlook by 71% to about $255 million, based on demand for a headset for playing FORTNITE and other online games such as PUBG. So what you're trying to say is successful developers knowing how to make a penny way more successful than, let's just say, Activision, EA, is helping other companies make money. And I don't care what people say about what you think about capitalism. This is capitalism and its glory, and this is what's great, because like I said, Big other companies help other companies by being successful because they're all partnered. They're all part of the same web. They're all part of the same idea, mindset. They all want to help each other out. They all want to be successful. They're competitive. If you're not competitive, you're doing something wrong. Be competitive. It's a competitive world out there. How are you going to get yourself into the world knowing who the fuck you are if you're not competitive? Everybody should be competitive. Be competitive. Get off your ass. Oh, me? But anyway, yeah, it's great. And then, like I said, it helps even smaller businesses become successful because they are helping them support the land, the costs, the private property, the contracts, and all that. Because it's all got to go to some higher up in the end. Someone making the big decision to want to support these small businesses. And the more money that big corporations have, the easier it is to support those small businesses, so the small businesses can turn into big businesses eventually. Unless you're a mom and pop place, I understand that. If you don't want to go that big, that's fine. But I'm just saying, the facts are facts, damn it. Where am I? Another factor booing sales, a trio of popular game consoles in the Microsoft Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Sony PlayStation 4, as well as a plug-and-play devices such as Nintendo's Super NES Classic Edition. Beyond that, there's a strong mobile gaming audience playing games such as Candy Crush and Pokemon Go. That is still growing. We're just seeing rising tides and higher player reach. That is the kind of burst in activity and sales you don't see every often, Piscatella said. Let's see. A stellar lineup of tentpole releases should help propel sales over the rest of the year, among those Spider-Man, Call of Duty, Red Dead, Fallout, Battlefield, Pokemon, Smash Brothers Ultimate. We just have a cluster of super franchises, Piscatella said. If we get 2 or 3 a year, then we're really lucky. This year we have like 6 or 7. It's crazy. Yes. There are some, okay, I will read that list again. There are some huge heavy hitters coming out this year. Like big franchise. Like I said, Spider-Man, Call of Duty, Red Dead, Battlefield, Pokemon, Smash Brothers. And that's not listing the other stuff too, like Dragon Quest, Mega Man, Super Mario Party. I don't think Super Mario Party is a heavy hitter, but there's still a big following behind it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's another one. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's also another one. So, yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a bit. So, consumers get it. Ooh, there's a chart. Yes, finally a freaking article that has a chart to show statistics. So, I'm not just making this shit up, and neither is this guy. Thank God there's someone intelligent enough to do that. So, consumers can't get enough video games. Video game sales in the U.S. are on a possible record pace, with consumers spending $19.5 billion on them in the first 6 months of 2018. Yeah, it's like those tax breaks are doing something. Must be really nice. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, this is January to June of 2017. That's the little orange. The lighter orange, and the darker orange is, never mind. January through June 2018. So look at this differential margin right here. This is why the stock market is just amazing right now. This is why stocks are so good. Production values are at an all-time high. Thank you, President. Yeah, this is great. This is good for you guys, because that means there's going to be more quality in games. More quality in games, people actually wanting to help you play your favorite games and actually supporting you, not going half-assed entirely. EA, I'm sorry if EA and Activision really changed your mind on how you see games these days. It's terrible, I get that, but even EA is finally fucking getting it by not having loot crates anymore. They're actually probably trying to make a good game. But, we can always, that's always debatable. They have a long way to go. But other companies and stuff are doing their damnedest right now to get back to where they once were. And they want to make a nice profit because they're competitive. Being competitive is healthy. So here we have hardware consoles. We go from 1.4 billion for last year to 1.7 billion of this year. Let's see. Accessories, controllers, etc. 0.7 billion, and then to this year 0.9 billion. So I'm really glad they were able to see a graph, a chart. This is just beautiful when you see charts this fucking simple. If journalists actually did this once in a while, then the world can just shut that up and not meme about it. But anyway, not to get all nasty if I am, but I'm just being honest with y'all. This is great. Like I said, you want big companies to be successful. I mean, even at the end of the day, like I get EA is probably the worst gaming company out there with Activision, and EA shut down. They make a lot of mistakes. They shut down a lot of video game companies for no apparent reason, without even giving them a chance to shine under their new ownership of EA, like Visceral Games, BioWare being completely shifted from being an always online shooter game. Battlefront 2. I mean, look at what Shadow of War did, and now they completely. I mean, that's made by Warner Brothers and Monolith, but they completely got rid of their loot crate and everything, and they completely changed the last section of the game. And nobody's talking about it. Isn't that weird? Nobody is talking about it on how it's changed. This is like year one of Shadow War deserves a second chance now, but it's just so weird how nobody's talking about it. To me that's a big deal that they completely revamped that shit. But anyway, yeah, I digress. So yes, successful. Fortnite is an example of a company. Epic Games knows how to be a successful company. They know how to cater to all kinds of audiences. I think that's great. I mean, I would love for me to play a game, to have people play a game at the reasonable price. I mean, Fortnite itself, nobody really plays the tower defense mode nearly as much as the battle royale mode. But still, they did it. They did it smart. They've been sued. They have had lawsuits filed against them. They made $1 gazillion. They have the highest player count, esports, this and that. And they knew what they were doing. And you didn't have to pay $30 for a glitchy ass broken fucking game like PUBG on the Xbox or on computer. So, yes. Bluehole is an example of a company that got lazy and fat, gluttonous, and Epic is a company that's not. It's the complete opposite and making $1 gazillion dollars. And there's a reason why it's always the talk of journalism and media and all that and what it's doing for people these days. Like it's polarizing people. It's crazy. So good job, Epic Games. Although I don't really care for Battle Royale games, still I won't deny the success of Fortnite because stats don't lie, my friends. Anyway, so that was fun to talk about. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so let's get into the most controversial topic of the show. And like I said, if you ever want to debate me on this type of stuff, you are always welcome to do a one-on-one debate session with me. We can talk about it on the web and see how well it goes, see who gets triggered first. Man, Discord has another update? God damn it. OBS just had another update too. I'm always happy when OBS updates itself because, it needs to fix its shit. All right, so you hear about the guy with the Madden tournament shooting people and then killing himself? Well, that's what we're talking about. So, I'm curious about this because I want to know what the tragic. I'm really sad. I'm sorry for all the families that have been dealing with this stress, for the pain of loss they're dealing with, for friends and family that were involved in this, and I'm happy to, I'm grateful to not have dealt with this type of, this, like, it's a breath of fresh air, like, oh, thank God, I'm safe from this, but for those who weren't safe, who weren't lucky, who were just trying to have a good time or trying to play their favorite video game, you had to get a demented individual who just couldn't take a loss. And good job, parenting. Way to teach him how to handle a loss, how to be competitive properly. But anyway, so let's read about the first lawsuit. Filed in Florida video game tournament shooting. Why don't they just say Madden? Because no one knows Madden. A man who was wounded during a shooting at a video game tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, filed a lawsuit on Thursdays against the game's developer. Okay. The developer. Okay, we'll talk about this in the end. This is probably going to take up the rest of the fucking time. It's the first lawsuit filed over the August 22nd shooting. Jacob Middage, who participated in a Madden NFL 19 qualifier tournament, is also suing the mall and the restaurant inside it where the event was held. Okay, now that I understand, and I will get to that in a second. That I can understand. A gunman killed 2 people and injured 11 others in the shooting. Authorities said the gunman, who they identify as a 24-year-old old man, he's not a man, but technically he is, but inside he's not, from Baltimore, later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Yeah, we all know how fucking dangerous Baltimore is. Baltimore, Maryland is not a safe place. Does anybody remember the Baltimore riots? I'm just saying, those were fucking scary as hell. And Baltimore is not a safe place. But anyway, ooh, I want to see who does this guy look like? I want to see who this guy looks like. David Katz. Okay, I want to look up David Katz. Okay. I just saw a picture of him. I just want to get an image. It's good to have an image. Okay, so this is David Katz. I'm just going to show you this real quick. Wait, hold on a second. Where am I? What? Let's see here. Well, that works. Why didn't that come up? Alright, so I'll just copy the link, whatever. So, this is a completely different article, but I just want to see this picture, and it just makes complete freaking sense of why this guy is what he did. Okay, so there's a picture of him. Ooh, I see the Bills behind him. He better not be a Bills fan, because I'm a Bills fan, sadly. Yes, I am a Bills fan. So anyway, David Katz. This is a guy who looks very not happy, looks like he's frustrated, looks tired, looks exhausted. Yeah. Now, I don't want to go completely subjective on it, but just by facial characteristics and, facial expressions do define a lot. Although it'd be nice to see it actually moving, but you can get an idea. That's why mugshots are always like the talk of the day. So anyway, let's read some more. A gunman killed 2 people, blah, blah, blah. In his lawsuit, Middage argues EA Sports chose an unsafe venue, to host its tournament at, describing the Jacksonville Landing shopping mall as a hub of dangerous, violent, and too often deadly activity that's lacking security. Okay, this is good. But hold on, this guy isn't out of it yet. This guy is not completely out of the thing. The complaint also says those involved in organizing the event didn't conduct background checks on gamers and failed to prevent the suspect from entering the venue with a gun. Middage is seeking unspecified damages. So USA Today reports Jacksonville fire inspectors shut down the restaurant where the shooting took place, saying it didn't have a permit to hold the tournament. EA Sports didn't immediately respond to the lawsuit, but announced Thursday it's donating $1 million to victims of the shooting. Okay. But so they respond with money? You think that's going to fucking make it better? No, we like to have a professional statement from you, like saying that you guys fucked up. Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, let's backpedal. Okay, so first he files a lawsuit against the game's developer. At first I was like, why? It wasn't their fault. But then states later in the little article that he says that this company chose a bad location to host this tournament in a dangerous mall, a violent place. I mean, you're in Baltimore. Like I fucking said, Baltimore is a dangerous city, one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. Not Baltimore. What am I talking about? Not Baltimore. This kid's from Baltimore, in Jacksonville. So Jacksonville has obviously some rough patches in it. Sorry about that. It's a hub of dangerous, violent, too often deadly activity. So the security was lacking. If EA actually spent the research on where to pick their venues and actually see how these things were that should be established, they should have took safety precautions. I mean, these are tournaments and stuff. There's a lot of mixing of emotions and all that. There's people taking serious stuff. So no background checks were made, apparently. No security, no metal detectors, nothing. So anybody could have walked in with a gun, an evil man with a gun, and his all-time low was actually all-time high in his life was losing, and then he kills himself while killing 2 other people and injuring people. So where does it go wrong? I don't know whatever gun shop sold him that gun without giving him a background check or anything. You know, for people that, this is what happens when people don't do their job, and this is why people don't like gun violence or guns, period, because the people who do support it don't do a good job enough of it to actually keep the NRA in business. Let's just say that. There's a cat scratching thing. So anyway, I don't know all the details about where he got the gun and everything, but we're just going with what we have now. So like I said, lack of security, poor venue choice, and then no background checks. So the person who owned the restaurant agreed to having the venue. So that guy fucked up. That's why the restaurant's closed down. The kids, the guy who's suing or filing a lawsuit, if he knew if it was a dangerous place, he should have taken the safety precautions of knowing if this place does have security or not. Are these people safe to play with? You know, he should have just knew from the get-go that he should have checked this out before the damage was already done. Because, I mean, I'm glad this guy is alive. Don't get me wrong. I know he was, you know, because sometimes you just don't expect it. You go into a place, you're just playing your video game, just being competitive about it, and then some guy shoots people, you know, and that's fucking ridiculous. Like, it doesn't happen as often as people make it, like the social media does, but it still does have a chance of happening, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And then, you know, it gives gamers a bad reputation. It always fucking does. It's like, does video game lead to gun violence? I'm like, no, this kid was already deranged to begin with, and you don't even have to do, it's not rocket science. I mean, the kid was fucked up before he even got there. I mean, anybody who brings a gun to a Madden tournament and not has it checked out is, prone for disaster. So the kid already had some pretty demented issues and some personal or some behavior problems. Way to go, parents! Way to go! Where's their statement from their parents, if he has any? So anyway, yeah. So security, venue choice, and then background checks. None of that was a thing apparently. And way to go, EA, for not doing your research, for just letting it just slide and just be like, oh, well, we do this every year. We never had to worry. I don't know if it's the same location it is every year. I'm just saying. And it's a damn shame. You know, it could even be a good guy with a gun to take down this bastard kid. And, the coward. Literally put a bullet in his head. Fucking coward. He couldn't even face the consequences. Fucking coward. So, like I said, I'm terribly sorry for all the people that were affected by this. You know, I'm glad that EA Sports is donating $1 million to the victims, and I hope that these lawsuits do go through in a way to where EA will actually get off its ass and actually pays attention. And not just EA, the mall, the venue, the event, the timing, the location, just everything is everything. Now the gamers, and I'm saying gamers, you got to be careful about this stuff, because there's people out there that take video games or just take anything way too seriously. Be careful when you're going into these venues. Be careful that there are some people that take these games way too seriously, that don't really know what's fiction and what's non-fiction. They don't know what's life or death. They obviously don't comprehend humanity the same way that you do, you know, that you cherish it. So, you know, be careful out there. I mean, especially in dangerous parts of town. If this truly was a dangerous part of town, this mall, prone to violence, then yeah, I don't think I would risk it. I would rather have my life saved. Because if I don't have my life saved, if I don't have a life, then I can't ever play a video game again. Let's just say that. So your health is more important than some stupid tournament. Not stupid, but stupid in the terms of how it was handled. So once again, I hate to end it on a sad note, but just know, guys, that we care about you, we care about the victims, and I hope justice will be served in some shape or form. And I'm sorry that the murderer and suicide person, the evil man, did not pay the consequences. Is not going to be able to face the truth of his action, face the crime. He won't be able to make the time. Bullshit. So, my name is NikoTheLegend. I hope you did all enjoy this interesting, controversial Niko Show episode. If you did like what you saw, please follow me on the Twitch channel. Check me out on YouTube. And if you want to join the Discord server, by all means, you can click the links below. Let's talk. And then a little bit from now, I'm going to be streaming World of Warcraft. So if you want to join me on that, on a much more lighter approach to the world we see today, follow along with me. Oh yeah, China wants to save kids' eyes by cutting down video games, and then spending increases for video games. Oh wow, that was cool.